The Empire Strikes Back was directed by Irving Kershner, not George Lucas as many people think, and really this movie could be summed up in one scene.
But how am I to know the good side from the bad?
You will know when you are calm, at peace.
That's the movie in a nutshell. Luke trying to find that peace before the dark side finds him. Naturally, after original Star Wars, a lot of people wanted a sequel that had the same feeling. A feel-good, triumphant, massive scale adventure. The Empire Strikes Back did a lot of that in opposite ways. Like, this film disappointed a lot of people when it came out because it's a film that nobody asked for. At that time, nobody asked for a film like The Empire Strikes Back. When you compare both climaxes of these two first films, the first one is just this big battle around this Death Star that can destroy entire planets, while Empire Strikes Back is just this tiny fight between these two people, mostly in confined spaces. Obviously in scale is less epic, but in emotion is just so much powerful. Empire also set a standard for Star Wars movies, and that's challenged their own fans. That's something that my favorite Star Wars movies do. Challenge fans with bold choices, bold ideas, abstract elements, and it's something that this movie has a lot. Even though the third structure is as clear as the first one, like this one, the first act is in Hoth, the second act is a chase in the Falcon and Luke being in Dagobah, and the third act is in Bespin, what is not clear is where the story is going. Because there's a lot of elements set up in the first act. For instance, Han and Chewie trying to fix the Falcon that is not working. You think that this might be a minor problem in the first act that might be resolved at the start of the second act. But it literally lasts throughout the entire film, even after the climax. And that's something that the movie keeps doing over and over again. It keeps surprising you. It does what you don't expect. It does what you didn't want the film to do. And that's what makes it so special. It's a film that really nobody asked for, but it was the film that the filmmakers wanted to make with their heart and tears. The first sequence of the film helps the audience a lot to understand Luke's choices in the third act, because you really understand the strong bond that these three characters have, Luke, Han, and Leia. Han is literally about to sacrifice or be at risk of dying to save Luke. So when he makes the choice to just not listen to Yoda and Ben and just go and save his friends, you truly understand that. The introduction of the Empire with the Imperial March, it's epic. The first shot of Vader, the shot from behind his head, is just extremely badass. Vader is extremely powerful in this movie. I mean, like in the first one, he had a superior, Tarkin, that stopped him when he tried to choke that general and kill him. But in this one, there's no one to stop him. He chokes a guy and he kills him because there's no one there to control him. And he's just insanely badass. This is Vader's film. It introduces him as one of the best characters in cinema history. Maybe the first one introduced him as one of the most interesting and badass villains. But in this one, he became one of the characters of cinema. But after the Battle of Hoth, we get into the second act with the chase of the Falcon. Luke's training in Dagobah is extremely fun. The comedy is once again incredible in this movie. It actually helps develop Han and Leia's relationship a lot, which is really great writing. But Luke's training in Dagobah, like literally the first test that he doesn't know and we as audience don't know, is patience. Yoda is treating him horribly. He's treating him like this crazy guy, and he's like this wise master in reality. And Yoda is one of the best characters ever, and his teachings are just out of this world. It's the kind of movie that you watch and you actually learn something. We get deeper into the Force here. There's a lot of subliminal things going around in the movie.
I'm not afraid.
You will be. You will be.
That little moment is literally the exact moment we see previously in the film with Han and Luke. The difference is that Luke doesn't say that he's not afraid. He's just showing Han, everything is okay, everything is cool, man. And Han is like staring at him and being like, I don't think everything is cool. There's something that is gonna be wrong because there's something that you haven't resolved. There's something about that aspect of the film that feels spiritual. When Luke is leaving Dagobah, there's this little exchange between Ben and Yoda. Ben says, that boy was our last hope. And Yoda responds, no, there's another. What do they mean? They never answered that question in this film. Intercalated with this sequence, we have the asteroid field chase, we have the worm thing, that they were actually inside a worm, not a cave. And all of these things are epic, are awe-inspiring. The music is just, there's a lot of fun to be having with this movie, even though it's a lot darker than the first one. It's in some ways a lot funnier too. And I don't know, the characters, C-3PO, Chewie, and all these characters just interacting with one another. It's masterful filmmaking. And Boba Fett is also introduced. And Boba Fett is very badass in this movie. He doesn't have that much screen time, but obviously you can tell why people were disappointed by the next film when his character was just killed all of a sudden without any progression with the character. It was just nothing. But in this film, it's set up pretty well. We meet Lando, that for me is the version of how Han could be in the future, because Han is just a scoundrel for some people, but he actually could be like a great leader, could be a great warrior, and he is a great warrior and great leader in this movie. It's just that like he could like lead a city, and that's something that is so heartbreaking for what happens to the character in this movie. The scene of Han being freezed in carbonite is so heartbreaking. The lighting, the music, the shot of Leia hugging Chewie, that thing she said someone had to get away from her in the first film.
Somebody get this big walking carpet out of my way.
And that leads me to something that shocked me rewatching Empire Strikes Back, and that's the acting. The acting here, it's in another level. It's so immersive, so relatable, like the way the characters react to the stuff that happens to them in the third act of the movie. In the first one, the actors are having a lot of fun, you can tell, and they're playing the parts really well. But in this one, the actors feel like they are suffering because their characters are. It's the best acting, in my opinion, in any Star Wars movie, and is masterful acting between Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and Harrison Ford. A lot of action films feel this necessity to have a lot of loud music throughout a lot of scenes, and they underestimate the silence. The silence of the scene of Luke encountering Vader is so immersive. It's so dark. Again, this scene is not a big scale battle, but for some reason it feels more epic. This thing is just like a very important moment for Luke. And you can feel it with the lighting, you can feel it with the silence, you can feel it with the performances. The choreography is pretty good, but it's the emotional stuff going around in Luke's head and the dread of him turning to the dark side. But even the imagery of Luke's hand being cut off is so disturbing because it's not that typical for a hero narrative. And obviously, the movie is already pretty good. It's already so good. And then I forgot, when I was watching the movie, I forgot, oh yeah. Then there's the twist of the movie. The biggest twist in cinema history. It's just, that's the answer. That's one answer that the movie does deliver. How Luke could be turned into the dark side. This is how. The reaction on Mark Hamill's face and Luke's face is so relatable. I think the audience felt the exact same way when they're watching that scene. It's a type of scene or story point that you see once in a lifetime. The film ends with a little bit of hope. There's a cliffhanger around Han's fate. It's a ballsy movie that finishes with a lot of unanswered questions and unresolved storylines. But it's one of the best films ever made because filmmakers genuinely didn't care what people wanted. They just made the film they failed making at the time, which is why The Empire Strikes Back is a 10 out of 10. Through the months of April and May, I'm reviewing every single Star Wars movie. I'm excluding Rogue One and Solo. I'm also gonna make an analysis video about how Star Wars challenges their own fans. So look forward to that, guys, and as always, thank you for watching and take care of your time.